just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome. There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time will somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the farce revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts, from close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever. The secret is plan ever. The secret is together we are.
Good morning, friends of Center for Spiritual Living St. George. We are so grateful to have you here today. It's a little cloudy today, but it's beautiful, and we hope it's glorious wherever you are and whatever time you are joining us from, whether you're live right now or if you watch us later. We're just really happy to have you here. We are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. And this is really a great place to learn some tools to deepen your own spiritual practice and connect with the people of our local community. I hope that you are happy to be here and will come again. Our purpose, our global purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And in our center, we talk about awakening our community to its divine nature and the greatest expression of who we are, whatever that is, whoever you are, whatever place you come to us from. So here's our team for today. Chris McCardle, one of our practitioners, is behind the scenes doing his magic to bring you service today. I'm Marina Anderson, and I'm your host. I will pop in and out as the service progresses. Alan Stanley is our fabulous musician for the day. He has a couple of great songs for us, one from Eddie Watkins Jr., which I always love, and one of his own originals. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Star Starrett, practitioner expertise, will bring the invocation for us, and Sue Fulmer, who is actually a practitioner in training, is doing our sacred reading today. And of course, our beloved senior minister, Reverend Joe Kovach, will be bringing the talk for us today. So should be a good service. We're really glad you're here to share it with us. Okay, so now we are going to bring up Mr. Allen. And
hello,
Mr. Allen.
Good morning, Marina.
Take it away, kind sir.
I will. So this little tune is by Eddie Watkins Jr. We'll sing a little bit. Hopefully you sing along with me. The lyrics are up there for my benefit and yours. And then we'll take a little break. Star will come in, offer our invocation, and we'll come back and sing a little bit more of it. So sing along. It's a great tune. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything you've been dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is
Beautiful.
I invite you to just relax, take a breath, and settle in. Right here, right now, there's only one mind. That mind is brilliant. That mind is all that is. That mind is my mind now because I know this about myself. I know this about each and every one of you tuning in. This mind is available and it is yours and it is mine. And so, knowing this, I set the pace for this session today, this beautiful talk on this Super Bowl Sunday about the superpower that rises and aligns, that we can use for good, that is inside each and every one of us. And so, with curiosity, I am absolutely ablaze with what will show up if I trust in this divine superpower that is already present, already here right now. And so I let go of anything that is in the way, anything that my thinking would put in place of it. I let it go with forgiveness, knowing that this superpower that is in me knows exactly what I need. And so right here, right now, I come together as we come together and we listen to what's unfolding today with curiosity, with awareness, and with acceptance. And so I release this into the law, knowing the law is beautifully working in my favor and in the favor of all who agree. And so I let it go, and I let God do his marvelous work and wonder. As together we say, and so it is.
So it is. So it is. Thank you, Star. That's great. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything you've been dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true. A beautiful garden. A garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Now I would like to bring Sue up and offer our reading today.
Good morning. Hi, Alan. Thanks for all you add to our services.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
Appreciate you. I wanted to talk today about inquiring minds. That's our theme. And I have an inquiring mind. And one of the things that helps fulfill my lifelong learning is participation with wonderful people in our book group. Putting in a plug for the CSL St. George book group on Zoom. We meet Thursdays on Zoom from 6 to 7. And if you're interested, please let me know. You can join at any time. The discussions are awesome. Right now, we're reading Living Untethered. Wow, what a book. I want to read a bit from it for you. What it is you experience that sometimes make it nice inside and sometimes makes it difficult. There are only 3 things you experience in there, so let's take a look at them. First, you experience the outside world coming in through your senses. There's a whole world out there, and what's in front of you comes in through your eyes, ears, nose, and senses of taste and touch. When it comes in, it's either a pleasant experience, an unpleasant experience, or just passing through experience. As overwhelming as the outside world can be, it's not all you experience inside. You also have thoughts in there. And the third thing you experience is your feelings and emotions. We've proven you're in there. It's not just these thoughts you're thinking, there's something deeper. And the strongest proof is you know that you're in there. This is your seat of awareness. Anytime you get lost, just stand in front of the mirror and say, "Hi, anybody in there?" Wave at yourself and realize, yes, I see somebody waving. Who am I that sees that? This is a way to center back into your seat of awareness. While you stand there, notice what else you're aware of. Notice your surroundings coming in through your senses, your thoughts passing through your mind, and any emotions that arise in your heart, creating feelings of comfort or discomfort within. These three inner spirit experiences are the arena in which your consciousness plays the game of life on planet Earth. And Michael Singer is an expert at helping you to see what things you can choose to make your life happier and better. So be an inquiring mind with me and join us for our book group. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. That's great. And she's not kidding. You guys would really enjoy it if you join them. It's really great. So I've always had an inquiring mind and have been curious. And this song has a little bit to do about that. I studied with the best of teachers, from winter till fall. Listen to the greatest speakers in the finest of halls. But until I found the silence, I had nothing to show. Because there's more in a quiet moment than I could ever know. I traveled to the farthest corners of this world alone. Pondered all the great religions that mankind has known. But until I found the silence, I continue to roam. Because there's more in a quiet moment than I could ever know. There's a place in everybody. Just be still and go. And you'll find in that quiet moment all you've wanted to know. In the depth of our soul is waiting a voice still and small, in a garden full of joy and love God made for us all. From the heart our spirit's calling, showing us the way home. There's so much in a quiet moment. Just be still and go. There's a place in everybody. Just be still and go. Then you'll find in that quiet moment all you wanted to know. There's so much in a quiet moment. Just be still and know.
Well, Alan, I wasn't silent over here. I was here singing.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. And Sue, I'm in here. I'm in here for sure. Who is that? Okay. What a great day we're having already. As you know, our home office creates themes for us every year that we can follow, but we always tweak it a little bit. So the year of 2023 is Living Out Loud. February is Curiosity is a Superpower, and curiosity is certainly one of my greatest tools and blessings for sure. And today's talk, Reverend Joe is going to be talking about inquiring minds want to flow. So let's step into the flow with Reverend Joe.
Super Reverend Joe.
Super Reverend Joe.
Super.
Nice.
We're all superheroes, so I figure I'm going to take it on full meeting.
I love it. That's great. Where's your cape, buddy?
Looking at a time.
Okay.
Thank you, Marina. Good morning, CSL St. George, Center for Spiritual Living, St. George. And I want to start off with a big thank you for everybody who turned out yesterday for our gathering. It was another great time. I don't know if you get the chance to, if you missed the video introduction, you'll see some of the people that showed up, and we were entertained by Charles and his beautiful wife, Julia, for some dancing, which was literally on the spot. And our creative guitarist Alan created a song up on the spot. It was just literally just spirit manifesting itself. It was so much fun. Some new people showed up as always. We continue to do what we do and welcome you. So good morning wherever you are. And when you watch this, if it's not good morning, good day, good evening, and good night. So that was a great time. It was well worth the drive up. And we shared some updates that we're going through as a center, all positive, all good. And then I had a joyful meeting. We had a joyful meeting as a leadership team, which is always wonderful to be in person with this team that is literally leading this charge of our community. So happy Sunday. Inquiring minds want to know. And as we began talking last week about this idea of curiosity as a superpower, we focused kind of on the idea that we're going to take a look below the surface and look within ourselves, which is a lot of what we do. It can be an interesting time, it can be a fun time, and it may even be a little bit of a scary time, which is why I want to remind us one of the main things I wanted to get you to take in as a spiritual practice is before we go in and start looking at ourselves in a deeply, maybe more, I'm going to use the word serious way, to ground ourselves in spirit, to ground ourselves so that we're looking with our true authentic self and not just our little bit of mind that's going, but we're adding the heart in there. And so that's important to keep that heart in our awareness, that heart energy, not just the mind, which is very analytic. We also looked at leading into the wonderment of how living each day with a curious mindset brings our awareness more to the good that is already happening in our lives. And so it is a superpower, and anyone can use it. Doesn't matter where you are, or what you're going through. It's something that we get to choose to tune into. And in our philosophy, we're often reminded that what we're seeking the answers for is, in a sense, seeking us. And never more true than when we're looking at our purpose, our meaning in life. We're going to take a look at that today. That for each one of us, I know and declare that there is a divine calling deep within who we are that is just waiting to be discovered, and maybe I will say rediscovered, because I know it's shown itself in my life so many ways, but I didn't look at it. Maybe I wasn't grounded. I didn't look at it in a way that that was my truth. This is what I was meant to do. Even if you asked me 10 years ago, if you asked me, would I be a senior minister and leading a community, I would have laughed probably in your face. And I just didn't see myself as that. And yet, when this process happened, it was so natural that I was in that flow. And I want you to get in that flow. And we talk about going within and inquiring. And one of the deepest thinkers that I have read about is Albert Einstein. So I wanted to share a quote from him. And he says, when I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of imagining has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Never lose a holy curiosity. So again, just kind of reinforcing that curiosity is a superpower. And looking at ourselves in this flow, when we're in the flow, we're living in a sense what we call our purpose. What is my reason for being? And that's a question that our curious minds would love to answer. If maybe you're there, maybe you're not there, maybe you're there, you don't even know it. You're not aware of it. Kind of like I was on the path of it the whole time and didn't have a clue. And this, again, isn't a question that we're going to use with our minds and our intellect. It has to be answered with the heart or the soul. When we're diving into the topic of self-discovery, having that superpower of curiosity, or as Einstein says, using this power of our imagination. And he says in a different quote, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And if you think about that, and I remind myself, well, how could that be? Because knowledge is simply facts, and it's limited. If I just say, this is what I know to be true and hold that, and then here's a box, and it may be a great box, but we know that life is infinite. And so I can allow myself, using my imagination, to think outside that box and expand my own way of living, the freedom that I want to experience, the prosperity that I want to experience has now been expanded simply by playing in that playground of our imagination. And what's important is those questions that we begin asking ourselves as we get curious. Another quote I wanted to share with you by Mary O'Malley. She says, asking a question signals to life, with a capital L, that you are ready to live the answer. And then life lives it through you at the appropriate time. So what this, in Ernest Holmes' probably words, would say that life is always happening in the exact right divine timing and divine right action. Meaning it's always happening for our best and highest good. You hear me say that a lot, and I'm never going to stop saying that. Life is truly always happening for our best and highest good if we're aware of it. And it does take the right questions as we go on this inward journey of discovery to fuel that expansion. Otherwise, we can, and we're going to take a look at this, we can tend to really stay stuck by using kind of small questions. The desire to answer the questions, for example, like, why am I here? Or what's my purpose in life? What's the next best move? Is in a sense, and what Mary O'Malley is saying is, if we have a question, that means there's already an answer. And now it's like we have to get out of our own way, our own little way, and tap into that power of curiosity that is driven by the divine, by spirit, by source, and that is calling us literally to rediscover something that we already knew, that we came into this life with innately, and then kind of mucked it up a little bit. We kind of lost our way or put ourselves in a box, and what we're seeking is outside that box. So this is a journey, and yes, it's a journey of the self, and at the same time, it's all of ourselves journey. And there's only truly, as we go back to, there's only one self, which is life happening, and we're an individualization of that self, just getting to know this huge, curious, infinite thing called life. And eventually we ultimately discover that all the answers truly lie within us. And when we say within us, we're not going to find them outside until we discover them inside, because I wouldn't be aware of it outside if I'm not aware of it inside. Yet, well, what about the most of us maybe who isn't there yet? And is there a there really, I guess, to get to? Now that's a question to be curious about. Is there a there to get to? There's a question to ponder. Do I have to get somewhere to be living my best life? Think about that. I want you to ask yourself that question. Well, what do I have to do to be living my best life? How do I have to be? How do I have to show up? Or is it just something to tune into that's already happening? I want to share another quote from Ernest Holmes. And he says, or not another quote from him, but a quote from him. And he says, "It seems that man exists for the purpose of self-expression. There appears to be no other reason or excuse for our being." We change that. "The infinite has already implanted within man an instinctive intuition, which is the spiritual knowledge of good, and his whole growth results from an inner awakening." So that first part is, it seems that we exist for the purpose of self-expression. And that almost seems too easy. Like, oh, I'm just here to be me. Like and our mind can't grasp that. Our ego mind is like, no, that's way too easy. There's steps, and there's hills, and there's all these challenges and so forth. And I was going through my email today, and I got to bring it up so I can read it. I tap into the daily emails through Esther, Jerry, Hicks, and Abraham, and today's was just like super appropriate. And what they share is that you cannot be separated from that which you are calling God. Reach for the thought that feels best. And they think, oh no, I need to listen to what God wants. But are we talking about the same thing, they say? Aren't your emotions guiding you to that connection? And doesn't the word God just set you off on all kinds of tangents that don't have anything to do with your relationship with that which is eternal energy of love that is your source? I don't have that up in a slide because I just pulled it up when I was before service. So going back to the part that, so I often hear, well, what does God want for me to do? And often, and I'm not going to say that's wrong, but where are we saying that from? From a place that God's out there and we're not that, expressing right here and now? Or is it something that I can simply change my awareness to and know that I am already that, and I am living that life of that which we call God or life or spirit? Pick your word, the one that makes you feel the best. There's no wrong here in that sense. One of the people that have been teaching and ministering in Centers for Spiritual Living for a long time is Reverend Dennis Merritt Jones. And let me get back to my slides so I can see them. There we go. And so I wanted to share a quote with him because he says this from his book, The Art of Uncertainty, a great book. He says, "We were born to be free, to expand our horizons by going where we have never gone before." And I'll add, in this lifetime, "and not to hang out in the relative comfort and safety of the nest, the known. There is a place within us that is courageous beyond our human understanding. It yearns to explore beyond the boundaries of our daily life." So as we get curious, what he's saying is it's going to take us, in a sense, uncomfortable just because it's something new. It's not, and the brain's like, I don't know if this is good or not. That's okay. We want discernment. That's all right. But don't allow that to hold us back from experiencing the free, full life that we want to experience in our own unique ways. And, we're growing and we're asking questions. And this idea of asking questions is powerful because we can ask small questions like, how am I going to pay the bills this month? Or we can ask really deep questions. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but a deeper one in the sense of going within ourselves deeper and trying to figure out maybe what is our best way, our purpose. What is that desire within us to live more free and fully? And one of the things I wanted to share, and this is not a slide, but I will show up, it's Reverend Raymond Anderson who's doing the readings, the dailies for our Science of Mind magazine. And I want to share with you, this comes from just a few days ago on the 9th. And he says this, if you have it, the magazine, you can go back to that day. He says, part of growing up and learning involves an endless barrage of children's questions. Many a parent has become exasperated with the onslaught of questions rather than jumping into the mystery with the child. If we did so, we would lessen the likelihood of becoming adults who ask why, but really don't care about the question or the answer. He says, for example, we may ask, why is there racism or sexism in the world, when a more effective question would be what people have in their consciousness that creates the paradigms that outpicture as racism and sexism. So in basic words there is, what are we thinking about and feeling about that's adding to what we're seeing and living? He says, we ask why Hitler did what he did, rather than asking what was in his consciousness and that of those who followed him. Holmes says, evil is the creation of our own false consciousness. And since it is useless to pray to God to stop evil. We have got to stop evil. Let me reread that. Something that right. It is useless to pray to God to stop evil. Oh, we have got to stop evil. So the intention is to change our consciousness, and we do that by asking questions. Curiosity truly is a superpower because it grants us access to greater depths and well springs of awareness, but we must choose to use it. And what pulls those answers up are the questions that we ask. So I want to switch a little bit now and jump into a little bit more of this idea of that our purpose. Do we all have a unique purpose? And I'm going to tell you absolutely. Absolutely. That we're all unique, and we all have come here with our individual talents and skills and abilities and awarenesses, just like no one else. And no other human being can really ignite life the way that you can. Think about that. No one can do it the way that you can do it, in the special, unique way that you can. That is something special. And it's almost a responsibility, but when I say that word, it kind of feels like a little bit of pressure. And it's not, because when we're showing up our authentic self, our curious self, when we're in that state of flow, it's just natural. It's who we are. So one of the questions I want you to dive into starting today is to recognize the importance of your life. Like, what does that look like? Why am I uniquely important? How can I uniquely share my gifts in a way that is authentic to me and serves? And it literally makes the world a better place for me, of course, and for others. And that helps. In other words, if I know I'm doing something and somebody else is benefiting, that helps both of us. I feel good about it, and they benefit as well. But we got to get there through questioning, through this curious nature. What are my gifts? There's another question, right? What do I do to be in this state of flow and feel like I'm living on purpose? For me, this is it. Having these conversations, whether I'm on camera or whether I'm just talking to somebody at Walmart and my wife's going to laugh because she knows what I'm talking about, or the door-to-door salesman that came by and had a 6-hour conversation with me one day, and it was amazing. And it was amazing. And I grew from it, and they grew from it, and you're just in that flow. We had no idea. Maybe it was 3 hours, but it was way much longer than that person expected. And it was fun. And I did it my way. Kind of like that song, we do it our way. And it's not a way of being ego. I'm doing it my way and get out of my way. No. Then we're off. We're in just mind alone with no heart. Gary Zukov says, each soul comes to the earth with gifts. Each soul brings the particular configuration of the life force that it is to the needs of the earth school. It does this with purpose and intention. So what if you did choose this life? And what if before you came into this physical life as pure, limitless consciousness, you chose this avenue? You chose to be the gender, you chose your parents, you chose the challenges, you chose the time period. You know, right now we're going through some very interesting times in history. You could have picked a different time in the past or in the future, but you chose right now. And what is it that you want to wake up and do that puts you in that state of flow? That's a powerful question to ask. I'll share a little kind of humorous quote by Joseph Campbell. He says, "Life is like arriving late for a movie, having to figure out what was going on without bothering everybody with a lot of questions, and then being unexpectedly called away before you find out how it ends." Right? It's kind of like, whoa, I'm coming in here and, but it doesn't have to be. In other words, we have this place that we can tune into anytime we want. And the more we tune into it on a regular basis, the more we become that we're not reacting anymore. We're responding, and we're responding from that state of flow. Going back to Ernest Holmes, he talks about our sense of exploration and curiosity is in expressing more life, we are expressing a greater degree of infiniteness of the spirit. We are more completely personifying it. So we're putting it on. The more we know, the more we get to be, do, and have. This is the real purpose and meaning of existence. It is the nature of the spirit to express through us, not in limitation, fear, or want, but in freedom. And I love that word. It's probably my highest value. Everything I choose to experience, I want to experience that state of freedom, whether it's freedom of a choice, freedom of being me the way I want to authentically be. It's a powerful value. What are your values? What do you value? More powerful questions. These are questions that are going to help expand who we are. And wherever we're at, no matter how good it is, it can get better. And maybe we feel like we're stuck in 3 feet of mud. It's going to lift us right out of there. Now, going back to these questions, we want to make sure that we're not coming from a place of fear. All too often, our fears and hidden beliefs hijack our attempts to discover our flow, our glow, and that which makes us come alive. And this is kind of trial and error. We got to try. We got to find, oh, well, I'm asking this question. And now the question is, what's showing up? Is this what I intended it to be? And if not, we don't make it wrong, because we know, we just begin to, okay, what's a better question for me to ask? What's a question that's more aligned with the me that I want to be and experience? So what happens is fear kind of, we become disillusioned and feel like we're stuck, and feel like that creative spark within us dims. So maybe it goes, we think it even goes out. But we have to be courageous, right? And we talked about Rumi, and I forget his quote, but not dipping our toe in the river, but jumping in and dancing naked. Let's just go for it. Because all the rest, the only thing, not the only thing, but one of the things is our self-judgment. That holds us back. Oh, well, how would I look from somebody else's point if I'm doing this crazy thing, like living a life that I enjoy every day, going to a place of work or worship and I enjoy and I have a blast, even though it's not how everybody else does it. That's not why we showed up, to be copycats. Like, dive in all the way to the center of this stream, of this flow, and allow ourselves to be carried by this natural current of energy, of spirit, of life itself. Like, this is how we find our purpose. And when we find our glow and realize we're in the flow. And if we're not sure if we're in fear, well, there's kind of a simple test, and that is, do I feel like my emotions are ones of negativity, which means we're resisting, we're pushing against what's happening instead of allowing it. When we're allowing things, we're kind of just, I don't want to say passive visitors, but we're in the flow, and we're consciously just going, okay, This is how it is right now. And what I know to be true is my thoughts are those thoughts of the source of all life. So I don't want, this is not what I want to experience. What is it that I would rather experience? Another profound question. And these generally aren't answered like that. Generally, it takes some time to sit there and dive into it. Every moment is special. And author of The Peaceful Warrior, Dan Millman, he says, there are no ordinary moments. Everything you'll ever need to know is within you. The secrets of the universe are imprinted on the cells of your body. Boom. And in essence, you know, it kind of sounds like cool, like, oh, the secrets of the universe, but they're not secrets. If we ask the right questions, everything will be revealed to us. And if even the idea of it, oh, it's got to be complicated because I'm not aware of it. No, it doesn't. But if that's your belief, life will say, okay, well, you know, we can make this a complete Dan Brown novel mystery if you want. Or it can be fun like a Dr. Seuss book, and you just go hopping along and, you know, boom, there it is. So let's bring it to a little bit of a close here. In conclusion, what are we doing with this idea of flow? Well, first, we have to be courageously curious. And meaning, again, don't just dip our toe. Do what's comfortable, but let's get to the point to where we trust this idea that life is supporting us. And then two, we're crafting our questions to yield the best answers for us. For us. That's important. Okay. Now, it's okay. Sometimes we're like, oh, I like that the way this person's living or what they're experiencing, and we want that, which is okay, but it's still going to be our own version of that, if that makes sense, right? So someone's living they just landed a wonderful job. I want that experience, right? It doesn't have to be their exact thing, and we don't need to be attached to how it shows up. These questions should come back to experiences. I'm going to capitalize on that in a minute. Thirdly, let's allow your unique spark of spirit to light your world authentically. So what is the unique life that you want to express? What puts you in that state of flow? What are those things that when you inquire about and you think about, it just lights you up? Okay. Think about these things. Spend some time this week in thought. And finally, let's practice releasing fear and replacing it with curiosity. And this one I remember all the way back from when I kind of started on this path from Wayne Dyer. And he says, you could be fearful, which is a low energy, or you could be curious, right? Fearful, if we're coming from that place, then we've already kind of dictated whatever shows up is not going to be good for us. Curious leaves it open and helps us allow in the good, again, that is already there. I wanted to share a quote. So another daily email that I get to surround myself with positivity comes from Mike Dooley from Notes from the Universe. Please go there and check it out. If you can sign up and get daily emails that lift you up. And this one, I didn't put the date down. It was a while ago. But he says, true brilliance is not a function of understanding one's view of the world and finding order, logic, and spirituality in it. True brilliance is understanding that your view of order, logic, and spirituality is what created your world. Now sit and read that again. Good thing it's being recorded because you can go back and look at it. That's a powerful statement. Is the world happening to you? Or are you, in a sense, happening to and through the world? The world is coming through us. You can change anything and everything. And we know that. All right, as we close this up, we do so with our awareness. Our affirmations. And it's a long one, and I picked it up somewhere. I actually searched it because I can't remember where I got it from, but it came up on a number of other CSL sites. But it's fun, and it's one that I keep with me from time to time and recite. So let's take a look at it. And remember, there's words, but it's the energy and intention that we put behind the words that matter. So I am life, and as life I do flow. I am joy, above and below. I am power, so I can let go. I am love, I reap what I sow. I am beauty, I watch myself grow. I am peace, I know that I know. I am light, I eternally glow. So let's take this glowingness, this knowing, this peace into prayer as I close this Sunday's focus on being inquisitive and curious, with a sense of why am I here? It's a natural question. And what I know to be true is the answer to that question lies within each one listening right here, right now. That there is truly only one life being lived, but it is being expressed uniquely through each glorious soul that is listening to this right now, whether they know it or not. That the fullness of all that God is, that we hear about, that we understand, it's even more than that. But we grasp what we know with a loose hand and just love what we find. We love ourselves as the unique expressions that we are. I showed up as Reverend Super Joe, and you showed up as Marina and Chris and Alan and everyone else on our leadership, and Samantha, our newest person to visit us, and Charles and everybody, and Tim and Terry and everybody who's listening right now. Know that you're in that flow right now. Let go of anything that is holding you back from experiencing your best life. That's happening right now. I know that the courage is in each one of us, and that we are trusting in the divine nature that created us to know that we are safe to do so. We give ourselves that permission right now to know that I'm not playing small. We're not playing small anymore. There's no small. I know that each one of us is tapped into that purpose that is going to drive us right now. And if it changes, so be it. But it allows us to wake up and share who we are authentically with all of life. There is no big, there's no small. If you're home, drawing, painting, singing, and no one hears it or sees it, it doesn't matter, because that energy is still going out into the universe, because it's all connected. And everyone benefits from this place of flow that is happening to and through us right here, right now. I give just absolute thanks, appreciation, gratefulness. There's no words for it. To know this truth, to be this truth, and to see this truth everywhere I go and everyone I see. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. I love what you said about the flow being living in purpose and on purpose, right?
Right.
Intentionality and the consciousness with that. And in our book, to reflect what Sue was talking about, really talks about quantum physics, and that the whole universe, the whole billions of years of this universe has conspired for each of us to be here as we are right this very moment. And if any one thing changed, we wouldn't be here, or we would be different, or that is inspiring. It's just so inspiring. And so what are we going to do with that life then, right? Be curious.
There's a good question to inquire, right?
Yeah, just be curious and move through whatever we're going through. So thank you, Reverend Joe. That was inspiring for me. Yeah, I appreciated it. All right, we'll see you on Zoom. Okay, everybody, just a few announcements. Briefly, Community Care Circle is here to help you. The phone number's right there, and it's available in all the information that we send out to you. And we're happy to help in whatever capacity that you need. Prayer requests, of course, go to prayer@cslstgeorge.org. And I want you to know that if you email that email address, what will happen is you will automatically be sent an email that says that we have received your message. If you don't get that, email somebody else and let us know that didn't happen. And then the practitioners hold you in prayer. In your email, if you would actually like personal contact, please say so, and one of our practitioners would be happy to contact you individually and directly. Don't miss the Zoom conversation today at noon. It's will prove to be arousing, I'm sure. I think Reverend Joe stimulated some great thoughts and food for conversation. As Sue plugged earlier, shamelessly plugged the book club, we are having a great conversation with Living Untethered. So please come join us. Even if you don't have the book, you can join in the conversation. Applications are being accepted we have one position open on the core council. So if you're interested in being part of the group that guides our budgeting and our activities and is part of the leadership that is helping to manifest the unfolding of this new chapter of St. George, please apply. We do have a couple of people who have taken applications, so we're excited about that. And know that if now's not great timing for you, but you think you might want to do it sometime, next year we will have a couple of open positions. So keep it in your heart and soul, and with the right divine timing, maybe you'll be one of the voices to come join us. And last but not least, the Inclusion and Diversity Conversation Group starts on February 28th. Please register by the 25th. It will prove to be a rousing, intimate conversation, and we hope that you'll come join us and self-reflect on how we're walking in the world today and how we want to walk in the world tomorrow. So all information's in the newsletter and the website. As usual, we appreciate any generous gifts that you wish to contribute to that help keep us going right now, help us do the social gatherings. We're saving money for a future permanent site. We're also saving money for a temporary location to begin doing Sunday service once a month. So your funds will be well used. Once a month, we will share our financial picture. So look for that. It's usually in the second reminder of the month. And as you can see before you, there are many ways to contribute. And that information also is in your newsletter and on the website. So thank you for that. Step into the flow with us as we move forward. In the next couple weeks, our speakers are, next week we have Jafon Seelig back as our guest speaker, talking about the world is an oyster. And I guess maybe we might be the pearl in that oyster, perhaps. And then the following week, the last week of the month, Reverend Joe, of course, joins us again, talking about living curiosity out loud. That will probably be a great one. So Chris will bring us all up now, and we will together share our closing affirmation. We hope that you will speak it at home as well. We should all know this by heart by now, but I'm not sure that we really do. But you know, so I shall begin with something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it. I embrace it and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming.
Thank you, life.
Life.
Woohoo!
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Love
See you on Zoom. Join us
Please
Yeah.
do.
and like and share our videos. Please
Yes.
share them.